You know what the difference is between someone who wins every single day and someone who just gets through the day? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even about having more time or more resources. The difference is simple. The person who wins every day has decided that winning is a choice, not a condition. They've decided that success isn't something that happens to them. It's something they create, moment by moment, choice by choice, action by action. Every single morning, you wake up with the same 24 hours as everyone else. The CEO has 24 hours. The person struggling to make ends meet has 24 hours. You have 24 hours. But here's what most people don't understand. It's not about how much time you have. It's about what you do with the time you've been given. And more importantly, it's about the mindset you bring to each moment. Winning every day doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It doesn't mean everything goes your way. Winning every day means you show up, you give your best, you learn, you grow, you move forward even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Let me tell you something about human beings. We are wired for survival, not for success. Our brains are designed to keep us safe, to avoid pain, to minimize risk. That's why change feels so uncomfortable. That's why stepping outside your comfort zone triggers every alarm in your nervous system. But here's the paradox. The very things that make us feel unsafe are often the exact things we need to do to win, to grow, to become who we're meant to be. So how do you win every day? How do you build a life where progress isn't just something you hope for, but something you create consistently? It starts with understanding that winning is built on small things. Tiny decisions, micro habits, little choices that most people overlook because they seem insignificant. But these small things compound. They add up. They create momentum. And momentum is everything. First, you win every day by deciding the night before what tomorrow looks like. Most people wake up and react to their day. They check their phone, they scroll through messages, they let other people's priorities become their priorities. They start the day already behind, already stressed, already playing defense. But winners, they play offense. They decide what matters before the day begins. They write down their top 3 priorities. Not 10 things, not 20 things, 3 things. The 3 things that, if accomplished, would make tomorrow a win. And here's the key. Those 3 things align with who they want to become, not just what they want to get done. You see, there's a difference between being busy and being effective. Busy is easy. Anyone can fill their day with tasks and meetings and emails and calls. But effective? That requires clarity. That requires knowing what actually moves the needle in your life. When you decide the night before what your 3 priorities are, you're taking control. You're leading your life instead of letting your life lead you. Second, you win every day by mastering the first hour. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start your day in chaos, you'll carry that chaos with you. If you start your day rushed and reactive, you'll spend the rest of the day catching up. But if you start your day with intention, with purpose, with control, you set yourself up to win. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you have to wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm not going to tell you that you need some elaborate morning routine with meditation and journaling and cold showers and green smoothies. Maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't. What I'm telling you is this: own your morning. Don't give the first hour of your day to your phone. Don't give it to the news. Don't give it to other people's demands. Give it to yourself. Give it to something that fills your cup instead of draining it. Maybe that's exercise. Maybe that's reading. Maybe that's sitting in silence with a cup of coffee and actually thinking about what you want from the day ahead. Maybe it's having breakfast with your family without distractions. Whatever it is, make it intentional. Make it yours. Because when you start the day by taking care of yourself, you show up better for everything else. You show up stronger, clearer, more present. Third, you win every day by doing the hard thing first. We all have that one thing on our list that we don't want to do. The difficult conversation, the challenging project, the task that requires real focus and effort. And what do most people do? They avoid it. They procrastinate. They do all the easy things first, all the comfortable things, all the things that make them feel productive without actually moving them forward. And then that hard thing sits there all day, draining their energy, creating anxiety, making everything else harder. But winners, they eat the frog. They tackle the hard thing first. Not because it's fun, not because it's easy, but because they know something important. The hard thing doesn't get easier by waiting, it only gets heavier. The longer you avoid it, the more power it has over you. But when you do the hard thing first, when you face it head on while your energy is fresh and your willpower is strong, something shifts. You build confidence. You create momentum. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things. And the rest of the day, it feels lighter, easier, because you've already won. Fourth, you win every day by protecting your focus. We live in a world that is designed to distract you. Your phone buzzes, your email pings, your social media feeds refresh with endless content, your coworkers interrupt, your environment pulls you in 1,000 different directions, and if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting instead of creating. You'll spend your time responding to everyone else's agenda instead of pursuing your own. Focus is your superpower. The ability to concentrate on one thing, to give it your full attention, to work on it without interruption. This is what separates good work from great work. This is what separates progress from just spinning your wheels. But focus doesn't happen by accident. You have to create the conditions for it. You have to turn off notifications. You have to close unnecessary tabs. You have to tell people that you need uninterrupted time. You have to protect your focus like it's the most valuable resource you have. Because it is. When you work with focus, you do in 2 hours what takes other people all day. You solve problems faster, you think more clearly, you produce higher quality work, and here's the thing that most people miss. Focus isn't just about productivity, it's about satisfaction. When you focus on something and do it well, you feel good. You feel accomplished. You feel like you're making progress. But when you're constantly distracted, constantly interrupted, constantly switching between tasks, you end the day exhausted but unsatisfied. You've been busy, but you haven't built anything meaningful. Fifth, you win every day by investing in relationships. Success isn't a solo sport. The people in your life, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your mentors, they matter. They shape who you are. They influence what you believe is possible. They support you when things get hard. They celebrate with you when things go well. But relationships don't maintain themselves. They require investment. They require attention. They require showing up. Winning every day means you don't take people for granted. You send the text message. You make the phone call. You say thank you. You show appreciation. You're present when you're with someone instead of thinking about the next thing. You listen, really listen, when someone talks to you. You help when you can. You show up for the people who show up for you. And here's what's interesting. When you invest in relationships, when you genuinely care about other people, everything in your life gets better. Your work gets better because collaboration improves. Your health gets better because connection is medicine. Your happiness increases because we're wired for community, for belonging, for being part of something bigger than ourselves. You can have all the success in the world, but if you don't have people to share it with, it doesn't mean much. Sixth, you win every day by learning something new. Growth isn't optional if you want to keep winning. The world changes, industries evolve, skills that were valuable yesterday become outdated tomorrow. But more than that, learning keeps you engaged with life. It keeps you curious. It keeps you humble. It reminds you that you don't know everything, and that's okay. That's actually exciting. Winning every day means you're committed to getting better. Maybe you read for 20 minutes. Maybe you listen to a podcast during your commute. Maybe you take an online course. Maybe you ask someone who knows more than you to teach you something. Maybe you just pay closer attention to what's happening around you and ask yourself what you can learn from it. The person who stops learning stops growing. And the person who stops growing starts dying, at least in spirit. Your capacity to learn, to adapt, to acquire new knowledge and new skills, this is what keeps you relevant. This is what keeps you valuable. This is what keeps you winning as the game keeps changing. Seventh, you win every day by taking care of your body. You cannot win consistently if you're running on empty. You cannot perform at your best if you're exhausted, malnourished, stressed, and sedentary. Your body isn't separate from your mind or your emotions or your spirit. It's all connected. When your body feels good, everything else works better. Your thinking is clearer, your mood is more stable, your energy is higher, your resilience is stronger. Taking care of your body doesn't mean you have to become an athlete. It doesn't mean you have to spend 2 hours in the gym every day. It means you move. You eat real food most of the time. You drink water, you get enough sleep, you take breaks when you need them, you treat your body with respect because it's the only one you've got. Most people treat their cars better than they treat their bodies. They wouldn't dream of putting bad fuel in their car or never changing the oil or driving it until it breaks down. But they'll eat garbage, skip sleep, sit all day, and wonder why they feel terrible. Your body is your vehicle for everything you want to do in life. Take care of it. It will take care of you. Eighth, you win every day by practicing gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's wrong, on what you don't have, on what didn't work out, on what needs to be better. And yes, there's always room for improvement. There are always problems to solve. But if that's all you focus on, you'll never feel like you're winning. You'll never feel satisfied. You'll always be chasing something just out of reach. Gratitude changes everything. When you take time, even just a minute or two, to think about what's good in your life, your perspective shifts. You realize that you have more than you thought. You recognize the people who support you, the opportunities you've been given, the progress you've made. You see that winning doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you're moving forward and you appreciate what you have while you're building what comes next. Gratitude isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is great when it's not. It's about balance. It's about acknowledging the good alongside the challenging. It's about recognizing that even on hard days, there are things worth appreciating. And when you do this consistently, you train your brain to see possibilities instead of just problems. You train yourself to feel abundant instead of lacking. You train yourself to approach life from a place of strength instead of scarcity. Ninth, you win every day by reflecting. Most people never stop long enough to think about what's working and what's not. They just keep moving, keep doing, keep grinding, and they wonder why they're working so hard but not getting where they want to go. Reflection is how you learn from your experience. It's how you course correct. It's how you figure out what to keep doing and what to change. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to ask yourself some questions. What went well today? What am I proud of? What could I have done better? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? These questions aren't about judgment. They're about awareness. They're about being honest with yourself so you can keep improving. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without it, you can repeat the same day, the same mistakes, the same patterns for years and never grow. But when you reflect, when you actually think about your actions and your results, you get better. You make smarter choices. You avoid repeating mistakes. You build on what works. And slowly, day by day, you become the person who consistently wins because you're always learning, always adjusting, always evolving. 10th, you win every day by giving, by contributing, by making someone else's life a little bit better. There's something that happens when you shift your focus from what you can get to what you can give. You feel more connected, more purposeful, more alive. Because we're not here just to take up space or accumulate things or achieve goals. We're here to matter, to make a difference, to leave things better than we found them. Giving doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be donating money or starting a charity or changing the world. It can be helping a colleague with a project. It can be encouraging someone who's struggling. It can be sharing knowledge. It can be being kind to a stranger. It can be showing up fully for your family. It can be doing your work with excellence so that others benefit from it. When you give, when you contribute, you tap into something bigger than yourself. You realize that your life has meaning beyond your own success. You realize that the best way to feel good is to do good. You realize that winning isn't just about what you achieve for yourself, it's about who you become and how you impact others along the way. Now, let me be clear about something. Winning every day doesn't mean you'll win at everything every day. Some days will be hard, some days you'll make mistakes, some days things won't go the way you planned. That's life. That's being human. But here's what separates winners from everyone else. Winners don't let a bad moment define their entire day. They don't let a setback become an excuse to quit. They understand that winning is a practice, not a destination. When you commit to these 10 ways, when you make them part of your daily routine, something incredible happens. You build momentum. And momentum is the secret ingredient that most people are missing. See, it's not about being perfect. It's not about having one amazing day and then going back to normal. It's about showing up consistently, making good choices repeatedly, taking small steps forward constantly. That's how you create momentum. And once you have momentum, everything gets easier. Think about pushing a car. At first, it takes enormous effort. It feels impossible. You're straining and sweating and barely moving. But once that car starts rolling, once you build momentum, it gets easier to keep it moving. You don't have to push as hard. The car wants to keep going. That's what happens when you win every day. The first few days might feel difficult. You might wonder if it's worth it. But if you keep going, if you stay consistent, momentum kicks in. And then winning doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels natural. It feels like who you are. But here's the thing that nobody talks about. You have to be patient with yourself. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want results now. We want transformation overnight. We want to see massive change immediately. And when we don't get it, we give up. We decide it's not working. We go looking for the next quick fix, the next magic solution. But real change doesn't work that way. Real change is slow, it's incremental, it's built on doing the right things repeatedly over time. You don't win every day for a week and suddenly everything changes. You win every day for a month and you start to notice small differences. You win every day for 3 months and other people start to notice. You win every day for a year and your life looks completely different. The problem is that most people quit before the magic happens. They quit in the messy middle, when they're putting in the work but not yet seeing the results. They quit when it's hard, when it's boring, when it feels like nothing is changing. But winners, they trust the process. They understand that if they keep showing up, keep doing the work, keep making good choices, the results will come. Not when they want them to come, but when they're supposed to come. And here's something else that's important. Winning every day isn't about comparing yourself to other people. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. That's the only comparison that matters. Because someone else's chapter 20 will always look different from your chapter 1. Someone else's decade of work will always look different from your first year. You can't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You can't compare your struggle to someone else's highlight reel. Focus on your own race. Focus on your own progress. Focus on your own growth. Ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? Am I learning? Am I growing? Am I moving toward the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, you're winning. It doesn't matter how fast or slow. It doesn't matter if other people are ahead of you. It matters that you're moving forward. Let me tell you why this matters so much. Because we live in a world where so many people are just surviving. They're going through the motions. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, go to bed, and repeat. They're waiting for something to change, for someone to save them, for life to get easier. But here's the truth. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. You get more skilled. You get more resilient. You get better at handling whatever comes your way. Winning every day is how you build that strength. It's how you develop confidence. Not the fake confidence that comes from pretending everything is fine, but real confidence that comes from knowing you can handle challenges because you've handled them before. Real confidence that comes from proving to yourself day after day that you're capable of more than you thought. Every time you do the hard thing, you get a little bit stronger. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you build discipline. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you expand what's possible for you. And over time, these experiences accumulate. They compound. They transform you into someone who doesn't just hope things will work out, someone who makes things work out. This is the difference between living intentionally and living by default. Most people live by default. They let circumstances dictate their choices. They let other people determine their priority. They react to whatever comes their way. But when you win every day, you're living intentionally. You're making conscious choices about who you want to be and what you want to create. You're the author of your life, not just a character in someone else's story. And yes, it requires effort. Yes, it requires discipline. Yes, it requires saying no to things that don't serve you and yes to things that challenge you. But here's what most people don't realize. Living by default is actually harder. Because when you're not in control of your life, when you're just reacting all the time, you feel powerless. You feel stressed. You feel like things are happening to you instead of for you. That's exhausting. That's draining. That's no way to live. Living intentionally, winning every day, it gives you energy. It gives you purpose. It gives you the feeling that you're building something meaningful with your life. And that feeling, that sense of progress and purpose, that's what makes all the effort worth it. Now, I want to talk about something that holds a lot of people back. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. Fear stops more people than anything else. It keeps people in jobs they hate, in relationships that don't serve them, in lives that feel too small. Because stepping into something bigger, something better, something more aligned with who they really are, that's scary. That requires vulnerability. That requires risking failure. But here's what you need to understand about fear. Fear is not a sign that you shouldn't do something. Fear is a sign that you're about to grow. Fear shows up when you're at the edge of your comfort zone, when you're about to step into new territory, when you're about to become more than you've been. Fear is actually a compass pointing you toward what matters most. Winners feel fear just like everyone else. The difference is they don't let fear make their decisions. They feel the fear and they act anyway. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite the fear. It's knowing that growth happens outside your comfort zone and choosing to step outside even when every part of you wants to stay safe. When you win every day, you practice courage. You practice doing things that scare you. And the more you practice, the less power fear has over you. You start to realize that most of the things you were afraid of weren't that bad. You start to see that you're more capable than you thought. You start to understand that the risk of staying stuck is actually greater than the risk of trying something new. Let's talk about failure for a minute, because failure is part of winning every day. It sounds contradictory, but it's true. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will have days where nothing goes right. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's necessary. Because failure is how you learn. Failure is how you get better. Failure is proof that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself, that you're not playing it safe. The people who never fail are the people who never try. They stay in their comfort zone where everything is predictable and nothing is possible. But winners, they fail forward. They see failure not as a reason to quit, but as information. What can I learn from this? What would I do differently next time? How can I use this experience to get better? When you change your relationship with failure, everything changes. You become willing to take more risks. You become more innovative. You become more resilient, because you know that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. And every person you admire, every person who has achieved something meaningful, they've failed more times than you can count. The difference is they kept going. Winning every day means you get back up. You adjust. You try again. You don't let a setback define you, you let it refine you. And over time, you develop a kind of mental toughness that can't be taught, only earned through experience. You become someone who doesn't give up easily, someone who doesn't make excuses, someone who takes responsibility and keeps moving forward. I want you to think about your life right now. Think about where you are and where you want to be. There's probably a gap, right? Maybe it's a small gap, maybe it's a big one. But there's a distance between where you are and where you want to go. And here's the question that matters. What are you doing every day to close that gap? Because that gap doesn't close by accident. It doesn't close by wishing or hoping or waiting for the right time. It closes by taking action, small actions, consistent actions, daily actions. That's what these 10 ways are about. They're about closing the gap between who you are and who you want to become, between where you are and where you want to go. And the beautiful thing is that you have everything you need to start right now. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need more time or more money or more resources. You just need to decide. Decide that today matters. Decide that you're going to show up. Decide that you're going to do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. That's the secret, really. Feelings are unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. Inspiration is wonderful, but it's fleeting. You can't build a life on feelings. You have to build it on commitment, on discipline, on doing what you said you would do even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Winners understand something that most people don't. They understand that you don't wait to feel like doing something before you do it. You do it, and then the feeling comes. You go for the run even though you don't feel like it, and halfway through you feel great. You start the project even though you don't feel motivated, and once you get into it, you find your flow. You show up for the difficult conversation even though you feel anxious, and afterward you feel relieved. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. When you wait to feel like doing something, you'll wait forever. But when you take action first, when you just start, the feelings follow. And this is incredibly empowering because it means you're not a victim of your feelings. You're in control. You get to choose your actions regardless of how you feel. Think about all the successful people you know or know about. Think about what they have in common. It's not that they're smarter than everyone else. It's not that they have some secret knowledge. It's not that everything has been handed to them. What they have in common is consistency. They show up. They do the work. They keep going when others quit. They've made winning every day a habit, not an event. And habits are everything. Your life is basically the sum of your habits. The things you do every day without thinking about them, that's who you are. If you have the habit of exercising, you're a healthy person. If you have the habit of learning, you're a growing person. If you have the habit of complaining, you're a negative person. Your habits shape your identity. They shape your results. They shape your life. So when you commit to these 10 ways of winning every day, You're not just trying to be more productive or achieve more goals. You're building new habits. You're rewiring your brain. You're becoming a different person, the kind of person who wins. Not sometimes, not when conditions are perfect, but consistently, regardless of what's happening around them.
And here's the thing about becoming that person, it changes everything. When you become someone who wins every day, opportunities show up that wouldn't have shown up before. People want to work with you because they know you're reliable. You solve problems faster because you've developed your skills. You handle stress better because you've built resilience. Your relationships improve because you're showing up better. Your confidence grows because you have evidence of your capability. Winning every day creates a positive spiral. Each win gives you momentum for the next one. Each good choice makes the next good choice easier. Each day you show up, you prove to yourself that you can. And this evidence accumulates. It builds your self-belief. It transforms your identity. But you have to start. That's the part that so many people struggle with. They want to win every day, but they're waiting for the perfect moment to begin. They're waiting until things calm down, until they're less busy, until they feel more ready. But that moment never comes. Life doesn't calm down. You don't suddenly become less busy. You're never going to feel completely ready. The perfect time is now, right now, today, this moment, because every day you wait is a day you could have been building momentum. Every day you delay is a day you could have been getting better. The gap between where you are and where you want to be, it doesn't close by waiting, it closes by starting. And starting doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't have to do all 10 things perfectly tomorrow. Just pick one. Pick the one that resonates most with you right now. Maybe it's planning your day the night before. Maybe it's doing the hard thing first. Maybe it's protecting your focus. Maybe it's practicing gratitude. Just pick one and commit to it for the next week. Do that one thing every day for a week. And once it starts to feel natural, add another one, then another. Build slowly, build sustainably, build in a way that lasts. Because the goal isn't to be perfect for a day. The goal is to be consistent for a lifetime. The goal is to build a way of living that allows you to keep winning, keep growing, keep becoming more of who you're meant to be. And when you do this, when you really commit to winning every day, you'll look back a year from now and barely recognize your life. You'll see how far you've come. You'll notice the changes in yourself, in your confidence, in your capabilities, in your results. You'll realize that the person you are now is exactly who you needed to become to create the life you want. That's the power of winning every day. It's not just about achievement, it's about transformation. It's about becoming someone who doesn't just dream about a better life, but actually builds it. One day at a time, one choice at a time, one win at a time. So I'll leave you with this. Today is your day. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Today, you can start right now. You can decide right now that you're done waiting, done wishing, done settling for less than you're capable of. You can decide right now that you're going to win today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after that. Because winning every day isn't complicated. It's simple. Simple, but not easy. It requires commitment. It requires discipline. It requires showing up when you don't feel like it. But it's worth it. It's worth it because you're worth it. Your dreams are worth it. The person you can become is worth it. So win today. Do one thing that moves you forward. Make one choice that serves who you want to become. Take one step toward the life you want to create. And then do it again tomorrow. And the day after that, and watch what happens. Watch how your life transforms when you make winning a daily practice instead of a someday goal. You've got this. You're capable of more than you know. And the life you want? It's waiting for you on the other side of consistent action, on the other side of showing up every single day and giving your best. So start now, win today, and then keep winning every single day.